Hello, everyone. I'm Fyruz Khan, and today I'm back with a brand new class. I'm back with Business Studies Edexcel. If I'm not mistaken, Chapter 21, Market Planning. We were doing market planning. So we started business planning actually. So we started planning, and today we have to finish the chapter. Very interesting chapter. So yeah, I'll wait for viewers to join and then I will start. I'll wait viewers to join. We were doing planning and we were talking about business planning, as you can see on the slide. Please like our page, Fyruz Education Services. All our classes are streamed live for free. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, type Fyruz Education Services. That's it. So yeah, you can also send me friend request if you want, because I also stream all the live classes in my personal page as well. So yeah, let's go ahead. So if you remember why I have this particular slide here is, if you remember, we were talking about the structure of business planning. Okay, business planning should consist of executive summary, elevator's pitch. I showed a video, the business and its objective, the business opportunities, owner's background about the owners and the founder and the team, the market, employees, premises and equipment, costing and finance, financial forecast, and SWOT analysis. So this is the outline or structure of a business plan. We've done till the market. We've done till the market. Okay, this is where the business plan starts and this is where it ends. So we've done till the market. We're halfway through. Today we'll start with employees. Okay, so in a business plan, you need to talk about personnel or employees. Who are going to be your employees? When you start a business, probably you will need few workers, but then as you move ahead, you will be requiring workers. Now, having workers or employees is very important because your business will be defined by the knowledge, by the quality, by the skills that your employees has. So they need to be good. Select them according to the skills. Select them according to the knowledge. Select them according to qualifications. Find out the right employees for your business. I wouldn't say best employees. I would say find out the appropriate and the right employees for your business. You can have interviews, two, three kinds of interviews, and you can have, entrance exam and filter out the best people for you. Okay. So look at educational qualifications, look at skills, and most importantly, you need to understand how many employees do you need, because you don't want many employees working for your business. In that way, you will not be making a lot of profit. You have to pay them a lot. So you have to understand how many employees do you need. 5 employees, 10 employees, 100 employees. Again, that depends on the size. A small company can have 5 to 10, 15 employees. A medium-sized company can have 50 to 100 employees. A very big company can have 500, 600, 2,000 employees. So it depends on the size. And what kind of employees you want to choose, it also depends on the nature of your business. Now, if it's an education institution, you need qualified business people, right? Qualified teachers. You need people with degrees. You need people who have ample amount of experience, right? Now, if you're hiring, let's say if you're hiring marketing manager, then you need a lot of experiences along with education. If you're hiring engineers, you need again educational qualifications. So it depends the nature of your business. So you need to look at what kind of people do you need, and you also need to look at how many person do you need, how many employees do you need. Okay, so employees will play a very, very important part because employees will define the culture of your company. Culture means how do you do things. Okay, sometimes আমরা বলি না এই ওই কোম্পানির এমপ্লয়িজ জানি কেমন জানি ওরা একটু রুড, এই কোম্পানির এমপ্লয়িজরা খুব ভালো, খুবই সফট স্পোকেন. because they were selected according to their attitude, according to the personality. That's what their founders wanted to have. Okay, if my employees are rude, that means I like rudeness. If my employees are soft spoken and well behaved, that means that's the culture of the organization. Okay, so that's personnel. Let's go ahead. Premises and equipment. Okay, so again, the kind of place you will need and equipment or machineries you will need, it will depend on the business. For example, let's jump to a picture. I have three pictures here. Let's have a look at the first one. Now, if you have a chicken farm, the kind of place, premises, office space, premises, land, or equipments you will need will be completely different. In this case, you will need an open space, green space. You will need nets for the chickens. You will need food, uh, fertilizers, and medicines for them because it's a chicken farm. So the need for equipments and machineries will be very different. Okay, but then if you think about a restaurant business, see, you will need table, chairs, there's a bar, probably you may need alcohol, you may need a drink fridge, and the materials that you will require is completely different than a chicken farm. So the premises and equipment will be very different. You need to have a restaurant in a very busy area. If I open a restaurant, probably I will open it inside a shopping mall, or I will open a new restaurant in a very busy area near the town, near city center. But a chicken farm can be any. It does not have to be near the town. It can be far away in a village, so that's not a problem. Now, if you look at the third picture is a factory. Again, the requirement of premises and equipment in a factory is very, very different. The setup will be different. You will require a large space. That means it has to be a bit far from town and cities. Okay. Again, it depends on what kind of products you make. Then the equipments that you will require will be very different. The kind of investment you will also have in these three kinds of business will also be different. Now, if you look at the pictures closely, guys, this is a primary sector. It has to do more with, fishing and farming. Yes, raw materials. That's the primary sector. So think about that. So your premises, the need for premises and equipment, the kind of land, space, or machineries you will need, it will depend on primary sector. It'll depend on the secondary sector. Secondary is industrialization, and it'll depend on the tertiary sector, which is a service sector. So in one way, it will depend on the kind of business you have, right? Great. We have a lot of viewers, which is exciting. Hello, everyone, and I hope you are enjoying my class. Zavir, hi. So let's get on with it. So think about the kind of business you want to start, and your equipment, machineries will depend on that. Okay, furniture, decoration, refurbishment, it'll depend on that. Now, I will not buy a fork, knife, or spoon for a chicken farm, right? I will not buy a fork, knife, or spoon for a factory. So it will depend on that, right? Let's go ahead. Costing and finance, very, very important. Now, when you make your business plan, there has to be a section of costing and finance, and you need to tell them how much money do you require. Again, I will make it very easy for you. I'll break it down. When you want people to invest in your business, there are two kinds of investment, okay? And you need both this kind of investment when you start off your business. You need one-off costs investment, which is buying machineries, equipment, which you will need right at the beginning. And one-off cost মানে এটা একবারই লাগে, তুমি তো একবারই machinery কিনবে, একবারই equipment কিনবে, বা একবারই office space নিবে, right? So that's one-off cost, and one-off cost will be there. That's for sure. When you start a business, one-off cost will be there. How much is it? You have to write it down for the investors to understand. Now, with one-off cost, you have other investment which entrepreneurs usually forget, and that is entrepreneurs that usually forget is working capital or investment. Because once you start your business, you need more money to keep the business running, because you will not have enough customers in the beginning to pay off your bills. When I started the business in 2015, I spent, let's say, 5 or 6 lakhs taka to set up the business, for example. Now, when I finished that, I opened our institution on 5th May 2015. When I started the institution on 5th May 2015, I had no students because I just started it. So uh, I was questioning myself, how am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to pay electricity bills? How am I going to pay wages? So for that, you need additional backup capital, which is known as the working capital. So you have to tell the investors about that as well. যে আমার টাকা লাগবে জিনিস কেনার জন্য, equipment, machinery, জায়গা, and then plus you also need money to for working capital to keep the business running, because initially you will not have enough customers, enough clients to keep your business running or to pay off your bills. And if you can't pay off your bills, you will just shut down. You will fail to operate, right? So that's the thing. So you have one-off costs and ongoing expense, which is working capital. Working capital is also known as the lifeblood of the business. Okay, it keeps the business running. So tell your investors that this is the money that we need for one-off cost investment, and this is the money that we need for working capital. Okay, a lot of them forgets about working capital, right? Even I forgot when I started my business, but then thankfully we had some savings and we could use that. So because for the first 3-4 months when you start a business, you may not have enough customers to generate enough money or capital. Then what do you do? Then how do you pay your wages? How do you pay your rent? How do you pay your electricity bills? That's the question, right? I hope you're having a good time. If you have any questions, please comment on the comment section. We are doing quite good. Let's go ahead. We've talked about costs and finances. Now, okay, now where will you get the money from? Now, we don't have this in our chapter, but then I have included this a little bit for you to understand. Okay, fine. So I've talked about investment. I've talked about working capital. I know how much money do you need, but you have to ask yourself, where is it going to come from? So you can apply for a short-term bank loan for 1 year or 6 months, 7 months. You can have a long-term bank loan, 5 years, 10 years. You can look for an investor. You can ask your family or friends to invest in your business, right? Private limited. Then you can apply for an overdraft in your company. Overdraft means you can withdraw more money than you have in your account. You can use your credit cards. You can use leasing option. You can use purchase hire option, installments. So then you need to think, okay, where am I going to get the money from? What are the sources of finance available? It can be external sources. It can be internal sources. There are different sources. And these sources, they have their own advantages and disadvantages. We're not going to talk about that because for this, we have a separate chapter 25, which we'll do probably after 3-4 days. So keep watching. So then you need to think, okay, kotha theke taka anbo? Should I apply for a short-term loan? Should I apply for a long-term loan? Should I look for an investor? Or should I go to my family, friends, father, mother, brother, sister, friends, or overdraft credit cards? Okay, so there are lots of sources of finance available. Right. So look for potential investors. How much money do you need? Okay, whether you're going to apply for bank loans or investors, because if you have not raised enough money, just look here. If you have not raised enough money, there's a risk of closing down. You will run out of cash, as I said. So you need to think properly. And when you do a business plan, it helps you to think about the future. It helps you to think ahead, one step ahead all the time. Let's go ahead. So financial forecast. Now, whenever I think about financial forecast, I think about this. This is astrology. Now, what happens in astrology? You are predicting the future. Okay, you are predicting the future. How? By understanding the position of the moon, sun, earth, and the various planet, and that's how you predict the future. Now, you may ask me, okay, why do you want to do astrology? Why do you want to predict the future? You want to do astrology so that you are aware of your problems, you're aware of your career aspirations, you're aware of any problem that happens, so that you can take steps to protect yourself. Similarly, this is why people do astrology, so that they're warned about their life, and so that they can take the necessary steps to protect themselves. Similarly, you have financial forecast. Now you have to predict, okay, for the next month আমরা কত টাকা পেতে পারি? How much money am I going to receive next month, or in the next 4 months, or in the next 5 months? It's important because you have to pay your expenses on time, because you have to pay your rent, you have to pay salary, you have to pay your electricity bills. So you want to forecast your inflow. Okay, you want to predict your inflow. How would you predict your inflow? Look at your past data, past sales. Look at sales of your last month. Look at sales of your last year. You will get an idea, and that's how you can forecast your inflow. Inflow means how much money coming in, the sales, okay, sales revenue, and then you can arrange it, organize it in such a way that you can pay your expenses on time, like rent, bills, water bill, gas bill. So it is similar like astrology. You are predicting your future so that you can take the necessary steps to warn yourself or to protect yourself. Similarly, you want to forecast cash flow so that you can pay your expenses on time, and you avoid all necessary let's say money problems. You can do week by week basis, you can do month basis, you can also do yearly, quarterly, 6 months. So there are different ways of doing it. Okay, so that's financial forecast, and it is like predicting future astrology. Okay, if you have any questions, you can post it here. Fahad Asif, sir, you're amazing. Hats off. Please keep up the good work. Thank you. Comments like this will always keep me motivated and do well. Yeah, just for your information, all these lessons are from the book, but I have adapted by myself. I use my own teaching techniques, but it's all from the book. Keywords, core textbook, everything. So. And then you can also do SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is strengths, weakness, opportunity, threat. So you need to know what your strengths are. At FES, we know our strengths are, we are very good at personal care. We are very good at supporting students. We're very good at understanding the background of the student. Weakness, maybe we're not that experienced. We have been here for 4 or 5 years. That may be our weakness. What are the opportunities that you have in the future? We have great opportunities online. What are the threats? What are the competition that you have? So do an analysis, thorough, in-depth analysis, SWOT. It helps you to look inward, that, okay, what are the strengths do we have? Use those strengths. What are the weakness do you have? Avoid those weakness, or convert it into your strength. Look at opportunities, look at threats. It helps you to think ahead. Okay, so think about that, because no two business plans will be the same. Business plans will be very different. My business plan and your business plan will be very different, different styles. Different countries will have different ways of doing things. Even the order that I have shown you, right from executive summary to SWOT analysis, even the orders may be different depending on the business, depending on the country. So no two business plans will be the same. So do some kind of SWOT analysis. It's very, very helpful. Okay, so that's strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat analysis. Now I have a very personal picture. This picture was taken back. This picture was taken back in 2000. if I'm not mistaken, 2015 January. This was my master's graduation ceremony. There you go. Here I am. I'm looking down. I'm a bit upset because I knew that I had to leave Leicester. That's a place where I studied, the University of Leicester. I knew I had to leave Leicester and I had to move ahead. Okay. And I knew that I was going to start a business. Now, when I'm starting a business, it's a life changing opportunity, it's a life changing experience. So, since it's a very important measure, I wrote my business plan in this diary and I'll show it to you. Okay. So, I've written it in this diary. Just let me find the page. See, it's all there. It's rough, but I've written everything. This is the first sketch of our logo. See, it looks similar, yes? The sketch of our logo that I made, 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning. So everything is right here. Why I have written down everything? Because it's a life-changing experience. I'm going to leave Leicester where I lived for 7 years, and I'm going to move to Bangladesh. So it's a big step. It's a big risk that I'm taking as an entrepreneur. So I should think ahead. I should write it. I should document it. And I wrote my business plan here. And I still write it here. I still scribble down here. All accounts, everything is just noted down here. Okay, you can write it on your computer, on a notepad, on your phone, anywhere you feel comfortable. Okay. So it's a life-changing experience. So you should think about it. You should be careful because research shows that businesses are more successful when you have a proper business plan. When you have a proper business plan, businesses are more successful because the rate of failure of startups is quite high. 70-80% of the business will fail in the first year. Okay, so when you're prepared, when you write a business plan like this, it will help you to think about the future. You will be ahead of the game. Okay, so there we go. Because it's a life-changing experience, I've left everything in Leicester and I moved back to Bangladesh. So it's an important step, and you don't want to plan the important step in a very bad way. So business plan will help you to think forward. Okay, great. So business plan will have different sections like cost, finances. Investors will not be willing to invest in your business until and unless you have a clear vision of the future that you want to do. So writing a nice business plan will help you to do that. And investors, money lenders, bankers will understand that you are very focused. You have a horse blinker. You know what you want. Okay. It will help you to think forward, right? So a thorough, well-written business plan will help you to think of its objective, will help you to be critical. It'll not let you have an unemotional look because sometimes we're emotional. Oh, I'm going to start an education business because my family has been in the education business for 10 years, 20 years. No, when you write a business plan, it will talk about facts. It'll talk about the recent business environment. And if it's not good for your business to start an education institution right now, don't do it. So you will not have an emotional attachment. It'll all be based on facts and numbers. External situation, internal situation. So it forces owners to think about objectives. It helps you to think about things in a very objective way. Okay, in a very critical way and in a very unemotional way. Okay. It helps you to provide a strategy. You write down different strategies. Okay, this is the way we are going to hire people. This is the way we are going to market our products. This is the way we're going to enter this market. So it gives you strategies. Okay, it helps you to recognize and identify different key tasks. What are the key important things that you really need to think about? Probably it may be production, it may be marketing, it may be HR. You can identify the most important sector or department in your business, right? Then you can also highlight and look at potential problems, that these are the problems that you may have, and for these problems you can have solution. For example, when I take your classes, I study, and I also predict that what kind of problems you may have, you may ask me, and I write it down. For example, I write it down that these are the problems that you may have, and I should be ready that if a student asks me these kind of question, I should be ready to give you the right answer. That's my job. This is also planning. So when you make business planning, you may look at different problems, and when different problems comes up, you can fix it with solutions. But if you don't do planning, if you don't go for planning, then you may also not look at problems. You may miss them or dodge them. So planning always helps, right? And it shows money lenders, it shows bankers, it shows investors that how serious, how responsible, how realistic you are. Because in the beginning, most of the entrepreneurs are very excited and they will say, oh, yes, we will do this, we will do that. It's the best business. We will have 1 crore of sales revenue in 1 year. That's all nonsense. You have to be realistic. So when you write a business plan, it helps you to be realistic. It helps you to stay on ground. It helps you to be serious. It helps you to be trustworthy. And this is why investors and money lenders will look at your business plan thoroughly, because it shows all of that, right? So we've finished the chapter. The definitions are given here. Please look at it. We finished the chapter. It was a great chapter. If you have any questions, please write it down on the comment section. I'll be able to take it. Do not hesitate to like our page, Fyruz Education Services. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fyruz Education Services. Again, it was a great class. If you have any request, any problem, comment on our page, comment here. Please do not make any irrelevant comment. It's an education page. So yeah. Thank you very much. I will come back and I will see you again in the next class.